Good afternoon, everybody. Today we'll be talking about the effect of memory on your identity. Memory defines us who we are, and it's more than just facts and information. It's identity, trust, and your relationships. Memories shape how we experience life and the way that we look out on it, and that losing this memory means we lose our sense of self. My thesis for this presentation is that memory is the primary force in personal identity, and that it's the foundation of trust, fuels our relationships, and that losing memory means we just lose ourselves in general. Now, the connection to the stimulus. The Alzheimer's Association talks about how memory loss has a very important quote from the Alzheimer's Association talking about memory loss, saying, "Memory loss slowly and painfully takes away a person's identity, ability to connect with others, think, walk, eat, and talk." I'll talk more about this quote later. And Colin Powell talks about in Of Memory of Our Democracy, his relationships that he forms in the military causes him to have a different outlook on experiences and events such as Memorial Day. I'll talk about that later as well. First, what is personal identity? The Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy talks about how the properties that someone takes that defines them as whom they are. Now, to put simply, the things that we take for ourselves that makes us look out on the world in a certain way. Now, these things that we take can be taken from our childhood, adulthood, and throughout our life. However, I think two more important things that we take is our prejudices and our relationships. For example, racism. You're not innately born racist, and this is more insightfully said by Harvard University, saying that our bias towards others is acquired through your environment and your memories. This is also shown in a study by Morehouse and Benaju, saying that the implicit association test, that repeated exposure to stereotypes creates a mental connection with these traits of the demographic. Now, this prejudice can also be seen in trust. Now, I know trust doesn't sound like a prejudice, but Winograd and Son says people who trust each other can work together more effectively at home, at work, or elsewhere. They're also more willing to share intimate information, which can reduce the risk of anxiety, depression, and build a stronger sense of self. In essence, we're more likely to share information with people that we trust, and we're more reliant on them in the future. That's also why Psychology Today says the military does these trust exercises so they're more reliant on each other and they feel that they can connect with them better. Also, relationships. Relationships need memories to work. Memories are the glue that builds the relationships in general, and positive memories, by Dr. Robert Kraft says, are essential for emotional closeness. Sharing memories such as birthdays, inside jokes, and even getting over hardship together makes you feel closer in general, while negative memories, such as arguing, lying to each other, creates conflict, resentment, and a sense of mistrust. Relationships can both build and destroy are based on memories. Now, back to Colin Powell, we can see that how his relationship with the military is very evident because his memories in the military with other people that he served with in Memorial Day makes him have a Memorial Day in a more sorrowful endeavor instead of a very happy time as he did in his childhood, which he saw as a day off, but now he sees it as a more sorrow event because he lost someone, now he recognizes them. Now, memory loss. The Alzheimer's Association, back to the quote I said, slowly and painfully takes away a person's identity, ability to connect with others, think, walk, eat, and talk. In essence, it takes away your whole personality and identity. It takes away who you are. The journalist says that mild memory loss can impact function, and that they did a survey saying many people can't even recognize a person with Alzheimer's within a couple of years, saying that their entire personality is different in its entirety. And now, some important implications. Mental health, we can see that people who are susceptible to trauma and PTSD can be greatly benefited, such as in EMDR treatment, which you give people like positive associations with tragic events so they can get closer and closer, and exposure therapy so they can get over the event over time by creating new memories instead of these sorrowful memories. In identity formation, minority groups can help reclaim their heritage and language by having these shared memories be exposed to them over a long period of time. And lastly, the one I think is most important in education. Now, people don't want to just have basic facts like what are all the digits of pi. They want to have information that sticks with them over very long periods of time. And this information, like memories, stick with you, such as through shared storytelling and emotional connections. And lastly, what now? Memory, all in all, we can see that memories aren't passive. They're a dynamic force that are needed and makes us who we are. And that it helps guide us through this world. And that it makes trust, prejudice, and relationships. And using what I've shared today, we can help build a better society and construct a better world. That's my work set.
Okay, thank you, Chase. Chase, how did you approach and synthesize the differing perspectives in order to come up with your conclusion?
I really used a lot of different perspectives, such as the scientific one from the Alzheimer's Association, and the emotional one, such as the relationships from Dr. Kraft. And I kind of wanted to bring them together to make it more of an emotional experience and like more talk about how the person's like memories is like more important than like scientifically like very fact-based.
And how is your conclusion in conversation with the literature that you examined?
My conclusion talks about how that we need to focus on memory-based learning, and going back to the information I shared earlier with the Alzheimer's Association, they say that sharing memories with each other helps prevent this Alzheimer's, and that in general sharing memories with other people can help have a better understanding of subjects, and that this memory is retained for a longer period, as well as the topic I talked about for racism. Having positive memories over time instead of having these like sort of negative memories creates a better essence as a whole, if that makes sense.
Yes. Thank you.
5 points.